Today, I want to take you back to your 12-year-old self. Do you remember your favorite song or movie? Camping with your family? Now imagine losing your father at 12 years old. When I met Tracy, she was struggling with isolation, depression, anxiety, and the loss of her father. And with 2 years of failed traditional therapies, she was spinning farther and farther out of control. Dang it. One day, she turned the desk over in class, and the teacher said, "Get out." Tracy refused. The police were called. It took 4 officers to remove this child, kicking and screaming the entire way. I knew this girl needed help, and help fast. I'm Scott Tilley, Executive Director and co-founder of Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. Tracy came into our life skills program and met Bravo, a 1,200-pound horse that would forever change her life. She learned to control her behavior through an 18-week program that would show her how to train a horse. You see, horses are prey animals. They would go nowhere near a dangerous person. However, they are a herd animal, and they want that human bond. With the help of our staff, she would learn coping skills and gain self-confidence through the love and passion of this horse. After completing our 18-week program, she has A's and B's in school. The teacher says, "This is a different child, a model student." Mom broke down, crying, saying this was the only thing that worked, thanking me for saving her daughter's life. My friend Tracy is now a volunteer at our ranch. This is our model, transforming children from being recipients into service providers. This is why I do what I do, being a friend, a role model, and a father to almost 2,000 children this year. Our goal is to reach 3,000, and tonight you can make a difference. A $100 gift will send a little buckaroo on his first ride on a horse. A $2,500 gift will send another child in crisis like Tracy through our 18-week program and change their life forever. Your $20,000 gift will help support our over 80 service animal ambassadors and impact the Tucson community for the future. Thank you.
Hey, Scott, thank you. That was really good. Overall, I really liked your pitch. I liked the message. I liked the story. It's really impactful. And at the very beginning, I really saw the seriousness of the story of what was going on with Tracy. So thank you for that. I want you to pause a little bit more after the story before you introduce yourself. Give us time to own that story because it's a pretty intense story about what's going on with Tracy. And let us kind of get there with you because when you're talking to us, what our brains are doing is we're trying to make sure we understand everything you're saying, and I'm trying to keep up with you to make sure I get the story the right way. So to give me a little bit more pause.
You got it.
Hi, I'm Scott Tilley.
Okay.
That'll help. Also, use that time as a transition too, so that you take us from where you are in the story, pause, take a few steps, now tell me who you are. It allows me to transition with you.
Okay.
Take your hands out of your pocket. Take your
That
hands
was
out
how
of your pocket.
I was practicing in the
hands out of
mirror
your
yesterday, and I was like this, and I was like, "Oh, put your hands in your pockets."
No. Do not do that. It is a strange thing, but it bothers people in the audience when people stand there with their hands in their pocket.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it's something that will just bother people. So figure out, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to use your hands throughout, but you want to find another placement for them instead of your pocket. Your ask actually worked for me. I'll wait till I hear from my partners here, but your ask really worked for me. It was clear to me. In fact, I wrote down, you asked for 100, you asked for 2,500, and you asked for 20,000. So it came across so clear to me. Definitely make sure you keep that in, because it really worked.
Okay, thank you.
I would say that you have made the most progress that I've seen so far since the first one. You took all of our advice, and I think you incorporated it. We now understand exactly what happened with Tracy and the horse. and their relationship and how that was impactful. So I think that's good. Honestly, I love the outfit. Like, you got to do that.
Okay.
And
This is me.
that is, I mean, do you, right? That's the winning, that's the model.
My hands in my pockets.
I don't mind the hands in the pocket.
Okay.
It didn't bother me at all, but maybe some people it would. So I trust that he's right. But I honestly felt like I believe that you're going to fix things. Like, you came across like you're the fixer.
Thank you.
Very credible. Very listen. Here's the deal. I'm in the trenches. Like, your boots on the ground, and I felt it, and I thought it was great. I think you need to practice it over and over and over again. Play with the pauses, the intensity, but don't lose the doing you, because I think the doing you, the authenticity of it, is just huge.
Thank you.
I kind of liked your hands in your pockets too.
All right.
I think you might be the only person in the world that works for.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Although I also like your thumbs in your pockets
Nope.
because it just gives you the whole cowboy thing,
All right.
which I like. So I loved every single thing about the words of your speech, and I like a lot of things about your delivery, and I love your ask. I don't know how other people feel about this, but I don't love the opening. I think it's a little awkward, and it doesn't quite fit you. It doesn't feel authentic, and it doesn't connect me in the way I think you're hoping that it will. And I kind of feel like starting with Tracy shoving her desk over and being told to get out of the classroom, that's the most effective moment in your speech. That's the part where I go, whoa, what happens to a 12-year-old girl who does that, right? And I feel like if you started there and then worked your way back through the story, it would be so much stronger, and you would have me from the first second you started speaking. Because the thing about connecting to movies I watched when I was 12 or whatever, so I'm thinking about Star Wars, and then all of a sudden we're moving into this other thing, and it just doesn't work quite for me. So I would play around with starting with the desk.
Okay.
That's my
One of the
feedback.
coaches at the last thing said to try to describe it a little bit.
Yeah.
Your 12-year-old self, and like maybe go back to a movie or your favorite song to kind of
Yeah.
take us back to that point in time. So I struggled with that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And after reading this thing 100 million times, I lost my emotion. I lost that. Because when I first started telling the story, or when I first started writing the story, I spent a week just crying in my house. I couldn't even go to the ranch, let anybody see me. So now that I've read it so many times and over and over and over again, now it's kind of like it's not as emotional as it was before. Like, I was losing like some voice. My voice was crackling at our last one just reading it. And now after going through it and like trying to get myself to a time and stuff like that, I've somehow lost the emotion in there. And I think maybe that's what you're missing is that I think if I had a little crackle in my voice, maybe I would catch you a little bit better on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, but also I think there's not a connection between my movie choices and songs that I liked when I was 12 years old to losing my dad.
I see.
Unless maybe I'm enjoying those things with my father, which is another thing I thought of while you were talking. Like, maybe if you said,
that's why I kind of threw the camping with your family in there.
Yeah, and maybe bring out the dad thing.
Maybe that memory come back.
Yeah. What did you do with your dad when you were young? Your favorite movie or your
that was the other thing that I kind of struggled with is when the coach had told me before was like, try to give us your song or your movie. Well, I grew up on a ranch.
Yeah. Well, then
don't do
that.
The
then.
songs I heard were country songs that were in the tractor my fun was out running through the hayfield and catching fireflies.
Yeah.
Probably not anybody in this room has had that experience, so to bring it back for what my experience was, I kind of had that.
Yeah, so then don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that because
Okay.
I don't think that that's the best part of your speech anyway.
Okay.
Really seriously start with the desk.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.